Rob and Slim Show.
Hey, it's Aaron. What's good?
Hey, Aaron, ALove, co-host of The Screw with Felicia Rose. How are you, dude?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm chill. Got some jams playing. Got a little bubbly going, and just hanging out.
Nice, dude. Nice, dude. I love you guys. I love your show. I love your
Thank you.
Your chemistry with Felicia. How did you guys meet?
Oh, yeah. So we met in college, and I mean, people could probably guess this, but we met in a human sexuality class, the psychology of human sexuality. So we met, and we sat directly across from each other, and we discovered within 30 seconds we were the only two people in class who knew anything about sex and sexuality. So,
nice.
We were fast friends after that, talking about butt sex and oral and the whole 9 yards.
God damn, I love that, dude. Yeah, I was just gonna I feel like you guys clicked. You guys were making jokes. You guys were doing it all, even back then.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, we got closer, just essentially because of that class. And they were like, "Hey, the queer alliance here is about to die. If somebody doesn't save it, its charter expires." And they're like, "Would you guys like to, figure it out and help us keep it alive?"
Oh, wow.
And we were like, hell yeah. I mean, I had done some stuff like that when I was younger, so I was up for it. So we set to work, and now they have some center for queer stuff at our old school. It's amazing.
Is there an ALove statue? There's gotta be.
Right.
There's gotta be.
You got a legacy
on that campus. There needs to be ALove. At least a portrait. At least a portrait, dude. Yes.
At least a glory hole in the gym bathroom with my name on it or something.
Right. That's just like a mold of your dick pops out.
Perfect. Living in
you got to hit a button first.
Oh, that's great, dude. That's fucking awesome. Oh man. And how do you guys do the show? Do you do it remotely or do you do it in person?
Well, so, in New York City, we live in two different boroughs. I mean, we moved to New York together about a decade ago. Okay. And we ended up, finding ourselves, one of us in Queens and one of us in Brooklyn. So it's a long hike sometimes by city standards. But we do most of the shows together, real time, smoking blunts and drinking and carrying on. So, but sometimes we do it remote. Like this COVID shit, we've done a few things remotely. Just, the trains are kind of scary,
Yeah. How is New York? How is New York with the COVID? Are you guys looking to a second lockdown? We're not far away. We're in Jersey ourselves.
Well, they closed the schools today.
Yes.
So, and Cuomo had his regular breakdown on TV over something. So I have no idea.
I feel like he's handled it. I don't know. I feel like even Murphy. I feel like our guys have handled it better than some of the other spots in the country. I don't know.
It actually kind of sounds it, I mean, here, look, it's a dense population. You guys know that. It's you. It's hard not to bump into somebody, and if you have everything is squeezed in New York. It's half as much space with twice as many people. So it's not good. People got to stay at home and chill for a bit and keep those faces and noses covered because I don't want to kill my parents.
No, not seriously. Yeah, no, it's a serious thing. We gotta get it under control. I hope in the next presidential 4 years we can get it done. I hope so.
Yeah. Let's cross our fingers. My politics are way to the left of all that. So, I like us, what is that? Some hashtag rapist against rapists in the last election.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that, but man, it just doesn't seem like anybody's excited about anybody. So let's cross our fingers, man.
Satan or Beelzebub.
I love that you said we got to keep. I love that you said we got to keep those faces and noses covered.
Oh my God,
people seem to not understand the nose part.
The nose is always out, I feel, Aaron. Or if they're on the cell phone, everything's out. They just have it like a chin diaper.
Oh my God.
They just have chin diapers.
It's the worst.
Well, we were trying to debate, like, how okay is it to, like, just hook up, keep, like, your face mask on, know, and, like, it should be relatively low problem, right? If you, like, wash your situation, maybe not alcohol directly on it, but, maybe the happy birthday song twice, while you're scrubbing it, and then you should be good to go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm worried because a lot of people are getting antsy just, trying not to, like, do anything, and, it makes the stress, when people can't, like,
people got a buzz.
Sexual energy.
People got a buzz.
Well, Rob made a good point last week. I was super drunk, but I was editing the show, and I heard a line he said that was great, where he said he needed to take a piss, and I said, well, I plan on drinking that urine, and he's like, well, are we gonna wear a mask? And I was like, well, I'll wear a mask, and he's like, well, no, I was gonna wear a mask on my pee hole.
No, your body is a good filtration for that. It's like 99% pure or something.
Yeah, the pee is real. It's real pure.
Yeah, drink that piss. I guess if that's your thing. I don't think it's very hydrating in the end. It's got a lot of uric acid in it. That's not.
No,
as long as it's coming through a mask, it's all right.
How often do you do the show, Aaron? I heard your latest butt plug episode, and I loved it.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, we're really happy about that show. It's like we've been doing it for a while, and then COVID hit, and I got married and shit. And, like things were busy for a hot minute.
Congrats.
So we took a little hiatus.
Yeah.
And then like every time we would drop it into a show, it just felt like all we're talking about is COVID and COVID and COVID. And like, it's like, I feel like everybody who's doing something and putting media out there, we have like a dual thing. Like you want to be smart and say smart things, but you want to lift people up a little bit too. And like make them hopeful a little bit, or at least laugh or get turned on, like one of these things.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved it too. I wanted to know for noobs, what is the most important thing to know about a butt plug?
I mean, you got to be careful with those things, man. Those are some like graduate level like ass play, You don't want to like tear anything. So
you don't want to buy like too big and a lot of lube.
A lot of lube, and you got to be careful because a lot of them don't have handles on them. So, like, I've seen people that get real relaxed and that shit, like, gets lost up in there for a second. And that's even more dangerous. So, wow. You gotta be careful.
Get a handle. Get a handle on that.
You gotta get a handle on that. That's some advanced level shit, though, I will say. Like, I'm older. And I'll say this is like the first, in the last 2 years, is the first time I tried one. Like, I've been terrified of them, like, always. They look something out of, like, that cruising movie with Al Pacino. Like, something very dangerous hiding in Central Park that I don't want to fuck with. But they're not that bad. And they're pretty good. Once you get in them, they sit in a spot. Like, we have prostates, right, gentlemen? Like, yeah. That's something we under talk about, that missing like pleasure spot that has nothing to fucking do with sexuality. It's a place up in there that feels really good.
But it does.
So I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it.
What's the biggest mistake people make though? They buy one too big, or they buy one without a little handle?
Yeah, I think people like their eyes are bigger than their ass. Literally. So, you
go small.
You gotta start small, and you gotta relax. You gotta relax, breathe. Like almost like giving birth. I hear. You gotta be careful.
So, do you recommend like alcohol or weed before inserting the butt plug?
Well, well, it's whatever relaxes you, Hey, practicality wise, I think the number one reason people are like unrelaxed down there is either they don't feel fucking clean down there, or they like just like are not yet in the headspace to be doing it. And like I definitely don't recommend you do anything you're not in the headspace to do. So, if you try it and you're not there, fucking stop. Try again next time.
So only do it if it's something you really want to do.
Yeah.
If you're like, this is going to be awesome, but if there's a part in your brain that's like, this is going to hurt, you probably shouldn't do it.
I definitely say don't start with a butt plug. If you ain't already been playing with your ass, like, that's not the first thing you should start with.
Start with the pinky.
Start with the pinky.
Oh.
Yeah, start with your pinky and work your way up. Maybe when you get to what are those, butternut squash, you're ready for the butt plug.
Yes. Oh man,
it is Thanksgiving time, right? Yeah. You gotta use seasonally appropriate vegetables.
Cornucopia. Is that what it's called?
Ouch, that sounds a little rough.
Oh, dude. Doing a sex show, ALove, do you get a lot of criticism or a lot of love? I know, just thinking of friends of mine that do true crime podcasts, they get a lot of criticism. Like, is it the same in this sex podcast world?
Well, I mean, I get it from both ends and not really in a good way. Like, I skirt that line of pretty much arguing that sexuality and gender are social constructs, and the queer community can be uncomfortable with that sometimes, and the straight community is definitely uncomfortable with that most of the time. So it's I get a lot of questions and critiques about many of the things I talk about, but that is one of them. I certainly promote the idea that we all should be looking out for each other a little bit better than we're doing. And, that's not really the way our society has been programmed. So that can be a tough sell. The sex part, we get some, healthy critique, I think, but we mostly get, a lot of people that say, hey, thanks for telling me about that. Or, I get weird people not weird people, but like random people from like across the world, like saying, hey, I have this friend who I think is, doesn't feel comfortable telling us he likes guys or whatever. And those are always like kind of heartwarming, and, people wanting to like help out their friends because they listen to the podcast, because they mostly like, want to hear Felicia, talk about some dirty shit and wrestling and the fun stuff that she talks about. But every once in a while, we put some information through, and people are like very thankful for it. So it's mostly good stuff, Yeah. But, you can't read fucking comments and shit or listen to other people's garbage. You got to live your truth. And, my partner always says you got to believe in your brand. So
I just have a question. I have a question, ALove. In the gay community, like, is there, do you look at another gay guy and know that gay guy's a bottom? Like, how does that, or no, who's the top? Like, how does that work?
Is it a surprise?
That's a great question, because this is a thing that plagues all of us, right? Like, we know that there are different sex acts, right? Topping and bottoming are just like positions. They don't got shit to do with shit. You can be the most femme queen out there and be a masterful top. You can be a freaking muscle-bound, deep-talking jock type and love to get fucked like there's no tomorrow. Wow. These things are like our undealt with masculinity shit. Like I say, play with your fucking ass. That has nothing to do with sexuality. Like we don't know. Well, I don't know. And I think most people, they want to believe that they're this or that. We got to get away from these labels that restrict what we get to do in bed, because they're a little like embedded in really outdated shit we copied from our parents.
That's what I feel like we got to get away from that old school.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Because what is it? Is it impacting your pleasure? I am, if anything, a pleasure activist. I wouldn't do what I do with Felicia if I wasn't. Like,
just try.
we can't sit around and like figure out new ways to shame one another over the things we like to do in the sack, you know? And top bottom culture in the gay community is a problem. There's a lot of like expectations and roles that people are trying to fulfill that like maybe they're not all about. Maybe they just want to get fucked.
Nice.
I mean, it's that basic. Like, look, dude, what I always tell people, feminism works way, way, way good for men as well as women. You know, the roles and the very short definitions of your existence they want to place you in, like, that's not freedom. That's not liberation. That's a fucking box. And I don't think any of us want to be put in them, regardless of who we like to fuck or how we like to fuck. Like, we need to steer clear of that. Like, I always joke with my straight friends, like, you know, why do you guys like let them make you out to seem like these dumb motherfuckers who are only motivated by your stomach, your dick, and sleep? Like, I've had conversations with you guys. You're fucking smart dudes. Like, why get stuck into these old, outdated stereotypes about men?
I had a friend, one of my friends I used to work with was a gay black guy, and I remember one time I came into work, I forget what I said, because I'll make comments all over the place, and he was like, "Oh my God, Rob, you're such a fag," and I remember in the break room of work, I started laughing hysterically, but my friend Matt, he just got so offended. He was like, "Oh my God, I'm so offended." But me and my friend Dana were just like laughing, and I'm straight, ALove, but yeah, no, he just called me a fag, and it was amazing. It was amazing.
And you felt okay with that?
Yes. But yeah, I wasn't offended. He wasn't offended, but a third party friend of ours was just totally not okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, we got to get away from, like, the respectability politics kind of world. Like, look, like, allies and friends and all sorts of that mostly are well-intentioned and oftentimes get a lot of it fucking wrong, you know? But, like, if we are ready to, like, skewer and cancel everybody that got something wrong once, we're going to have to cancel ourselves, too. Yeah. Like, none of us are immune to that.
Just understand each other. That's where I feel like you said, you know, the old school's got to go away. Like, I feel like a lot of our parents or grandparents didn't have to work with gay people, you know, like where, you know, I'm a straight guy that has worked with a gay guy for years, and we have a great relationship. We laugh, we joke, like they have never had to deal with that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and I even say this in queer culture, like we have old guard mentality. It's part of why, like, the podcasting network we've been launching is called New Queer Order. Like, I can't abide by these, like, well, this is the way it's always been crap anymore. We live in a global world where all basically can be internationally connected to anybody we want via the internet. We should know something a little bit better about culture and diversity in the world. You know, we don't have an excuse anymore, you know?
Yeah.
You want to find facts, you go look for them and get to them, you know? And in lieu of that, we're going to bring them to you as well, because I can't, you know, we live in such a, I'm always amazed. We always use the example, like young queer men who don't know how to clean their ass, you know. And this isn't a shame. It's like, where is the instruction manual for queer sexuality and queer health? You guys barely get fucking straight sexuality and straight health advice in school. There's like maybe 3 districts in the whole U.S. that actually have a comprehensive sex education program.
Dude, I just look at people I work with. I'm like, oh my God, that guy's got the hairiest neck. Like, you gotta know to shave your neck, dude. Like, but I feel like I don't know. Like you saying the school districts, I feel like that's a dad failing. Your dad never said shave your neck, stupid. Like you just look disgusting.
But then, so we call into question, like, who's looking out for the fuck pool, right? You know, who's looking out for the sexual health of all the young folks coming up, like straight and gay alike. Like, you listen to these, like, Me Too moments, and you're like, how did that even happen? How did you guys not even discuss one bit what the fuck you wanted to do with each other in bed? Why was this a mystery? You know, and I will say, I think queer folks do get that a little bit better, because, like, everything has to kind of be, like, a discussion about who you are and what you want to do and what your desires are, because it's not just a given thing, especially if you both have a dick, you know? You kind of got to work that out beforehand.
What about the trannies? Do you feel like they're just cheating? Like you're tricking the guys?
No, come on.
Guys.
I feel like I know y'all know better than that.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, like, look, I can't speak for trans identity. I don't hold it, but I will say y'all can listen to our podcast coming out on our network. Not our podcast, but our friend Cam, who's a wrestler. She is Black trans female living up in Rochester, and she is going to educate a whole lot of fucking people about the trans experience. So
Cool.
it's Tranos and the Lived Experience. It's going to be coming out the last week in November. So
Nice.
You guys should listen to that, because you know, it's going to be different for everybody, and this is what I mean. The labels, the boxes, they don't do us any good. I don't think any two trans individuals can tell you they've had the same experience. You know,
Yeah.
It's really just about, if the world is not binary, if it's not black and white, then everything is possible. You know, if we're all like focusing things around our health and the health of others, we're going to live and adjust a moral society. Health is a great way to measure like how to treat people. Is what you're doing to them healthy? Or what you're doing to yourself healthy? No. Well, maybe like let's focus on that. We live in a system of a healthcare system that spends an awful lot of money for very little like actual population health. We should all scratch our heads and say, hey, that's fucked up. We're not really a healthy and caring society, but we got 1,000,001 rules to keep people's mouths shut. So, like, you know, maybe we need a big reprioritizing.
Yes. Absolutely. Hey, love, are you a wrestling fan?
You know, I have to be now. Like, and then I don't mean that in a bad way. I've like always like, you know, I grew up in the 80s, you know, wrestling was like, you know, getting hot, and like Hulk Hogan and all of these people were like, you know, becoming household names, and the convention centers were having their things. And, you know, I think it was something that my parents didn't really let me watch, because they thought it was, you know, a little like violent or pointless or something. I don't know. I don't remember how it was moralized at me, but, you know, when I met Felicia, you know, she had like a healthy love for it, and yeah, I had other friends and older cousins really into it. So, you know, I started paying attention and kind of trying to understand it organizationally. And I'm like, oh, it made sense. I had a good friend that wrote an academic book about the wrestling in the world and the socioeconomics of it and all these other very interesting things that like tell an even cooler tale about wrestling. So I'm able to like look at it now and like appreciate it from many different ways, and seeing people trying to like burst out like queer wrestlers and trans wrestlers and the intergender wrestling. I think these are amazing things. I think it seems to me in a very short time wrestling has, you know, actually evolved, you know, pretty fast. Like, these aren't things in your regular national sports that you're seeing happen. Certainly not intergender basketball or baseball or any of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So to see, you know, this occurring here, yeah, there's a lot of conservatism. I mean, I will tell you this, I definitely recognize like the whole machismo shit, and like definitely a lot of bullshit against women and queer folks and people of color. So, you know, it's got problems, but, you know, the people within it, you know, the workers and their support definitely seem to be pushing at those boundaries and those themes. So, you know, that's made it a very interesting experience for me. I definitely won't lie there.
Cool. Hey, love, dude, it's been great talking to you, my friend. Where can everybody find you? You're amazing.
Thank you. Y'all should come on our podcast.
I'd love to. I would love to. Definitely. Awesome. Let me know. Let me know about that.
We will set that up. Most definitely.
Where can everybody find you, ALove?
So I'm on Twitter at ALove. I'm, you know, obviously the Screw NYC. I'm there, and I'm on Instagram at ALove Dirty. So check me out.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend.
All right. Peace, guys. Thank you.
Peace,
Have a good
dude.
night. Cool.
Cool. We'll be back.